6 years ago, I built a 20-foot fireplace. And the family was great. Built it, they were happy, but then I didn't hear from them until I get a text. Same family, same address. My first thought is the fireplace broken? What's going on? No, they said, we're ready for the next one. This time, something bigger. I was like, bigger than a 20-foot fireplace? What are we talking here? Then they sent me a picture of kind of the style they're going for. They wanted to completely transform the loft into this. What's up, y'all? It's Michael Robinson, Crafton, Florida. Today we're talking about this huge loft transformation. And again, this starts 6 years ago. Built this. This was the first time I've done a 2-story fireplace. I've since done many of them. It's kind of become, I'm one of the guys in the area to call when it's time to build something really big like that. But this was the first one. All tile. They brought in a gas guy to come do the gas part to the fireplace. And it looks great. Still standing, still doing its thing, no problem. Even had a little hidden compartment on the side so they could access it in case something goes wrong with the fireplace. So that's all good, right? But this time they want something bigger. This is going to be like a complete remodel of this one space. This space was your typical builder grade loft. Boring paint, nothing on the walls, couple of can lights. They had thrown a couple pieces of furniture in there, a TV, and it was kind of like a normal little hangout. But they wanted to change it. They told me the story. They had, started another business. Things were going great. Thinking about moving, but they like the neighborhood. They don't really want to leave. Why spend a whole bunch of money on a new house when they like their house? So they're like, let's put money into it. And that's where this happens, right? They want to change this space. They want it to be moody. They want it a little bit dark. They want it to be like your kid is a little bit older now, so it's like, let's make it a little bit more, fun, adult friendly too. So their inspiration was like a boutique hotel, right? You go to the bar at the hotel and things are really kind of cool. They want lights here. They want, different styles of shelving, some brick. They want this thing completely the opposite of builder grade, right? A couple of things that they told me they wanted on it. The husband, big time whiskey guy, loves bourbon. He's got a huge collection. He said, I want to display it. I want where everybody can see it. Let's light it up, but I also want to lock it up. So glass doors with locks on. They want space for decor, shelving, but not normal standard shelving. They want cool shelving, abnormal. They wanted the brick. They want something a little bit industrial. They wanted dark. So we're talking dark walls, dark colored cabinets. They're even painting the ceiling like a dark gray or a black. We're going to put beams in there. And the cool part, one of the big shelving units, they want a rolling ladder on it. The old school ones you see like in the old libraries where people climb up there and roll it side to side. They want one of those. So we're at this meeting. Everything's going great. We're talking and we're drawing it up. Oh, it's going to be awesome. I go and price it out. I'm thinking, man, it's going to be expensive. They really going to spend this money? They said yes to all of it. I was like, great. This is awesome. Big payday. Now we got to deliver. And a lot of this stuff, I've done a lot of it before. Cabinets, no problem. Beams, do them all the time. I've put brick on just about every wall. The tricky part is you're working in a dark room because the lights are out, right? They painted it all before I got in there. And secondly, we have a library ladder that I've quoted probably 50 times, but nobody's ever said yes. So we got to build a ladder. Never built one before, so we had to figure it out, right? So design, great. Seems simple enough on paper. It always does when you're only writing it with a pencil. When it's time to actually build it, you gotta think about some stuff here. So let's talk about that first challenge. Working in a dark room is not easy. They had rerun some of the puck lights or some of the can lights in there, but they don't have anything hooked up yet. So there's no lights while I'm doing all the install and putting brick on the wall and everything like that. And then we're painting a dark color too. So they ended up going with a dark green, which even the customer was like, it's kind of a big, bold choice. But when you see it in the end, it's like, that looks good. It looks unique. Everybody paints white, and even black is fairly common. But to get that green and then with the gold accents, I thought it actually turned out fantastic. So we're working in a dark room. We've got no power as far as the lights go. So we're adding lights. They want that dark, moody theme, but you still want to be able to light things up. Like I said, he's got a whiskey collection that he wants to show off. You don't want it to be all dark over there. So in the unique shelving that we've got, we add a bunch of puck lights, put them on a dimmer with a remote control. Fantastic feature. If you haven't done that, you should try it. But because we're doing that, and the way the shelves are, you can see we've got like right angles on the shelves. They're all different spaces. The word that the customer used when she said that she wanted a unique shelving unit is she wants it to feel random, like a whole bunch of crazy little squares. So we made it look random. The way I did that was I sketched it out and then built the face frame first. So by building the face frame first, I can kind of manipulate some stuff, kind of get it all laid out, and you really get a full visual of what it's going to look like. And then we can build everything off of that. So we had to build it though in a way that, number one, we could transport it. That unit on the left side where the ladder goes is 9 feet tall and 5 feet wide, and it's got to go upstairs. So we built it as light as we could, in the sense that all of the inside parts of the shelving are actually just plywood squares. So we ripped a bunch of strips of plywood, created a whole bunch of squares that were each shelf's hollow core, if you will. Then we could put 1/2-inch plywood on either side that is finished in the color that we wanted it. That helped keep it really light when we're transporting it, getting it up the stairs. It also allowed us to drill holes where we need to and then feed the wires in, so that each spot that was getting a light, we could get the wires to it and you don't see any of them. So that way we could run all the wires and then put our finished shelves where they need to be. It was a great feature. It really adds some depth to those shelves when you can turn those lights on as little and as much as you want to. Fantastic feature. The other lights that we put in the bar section. So we've got that bar over there. He's got whiskey on whiskey on whiskey over there. And we're doing glass doors like we talked about. So glass doors, no problem. Done many, many of those. But we want to light that up brighter than all those dimmable LED lights, right? So we went with the LED light strips. Those have a ton of cool features, right? So we're talking, you can obviously change colors. You can dim them. You can make them dance to music. You can make them bounce like different colors. Let's say it's Halloween and you want orange and black, or if it's Christmas and you want red and green, or 4th of July and we're going to do red, white, and blue, and it's just going to keep rolling the colors. Lots of cool features. You can even have it like run up and down it like a strip. Really cool stuff. App controlled. Great. Can make it really bright, and it really displays that whole collection over there very nicely. So that helps with the lighting problem, right? They can keep it as dark and moody as they want. Let's say, he's up there with a couple of buddies, they're having some whiskey. They want it kind of moody. They're going to bring the lights down low, kind of just chilling. If it's, a bunch of people that are having a Halloween party, a Christmas party, turn those lights on, make them dance, crank the dimmable ones all the way up, have some fun with it. A really cool space. The other thing we're talking about, now that we get the lights solved, we gotta figure out that ladder. I told you, I've quoted this thing probably 50 times. Everybody wants a rolling ladder, but then they don't really want to pay for a rolling ladder because it's a very extra type of thing. So the hardware is simple enough. Order the hardware online, get that. It's not cheap, but if you get some decent hardware, good wheels, good track, no problem. Comes with instructions. That part's simple enough. The trick with this is the ladder itself. If it was an easy ladder and it was sitting vertical, just make sure that you're square, step, 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 step. But that's not how these sit. These ladders sit at an angle. So you have to find that angle and transfer it to each step so that the steps are sitting flat, but the ladder's sitting at an angle. Now, if you buy a ladder from the store, that's how they're typically set up, is they're meant to be leaned, but that's a machine. They've done all that. It's typically metal or fiberglass or something like that. This is made out of wood. So we're using maple. I take it, I put those side pieces at the angle that the hardware recommends. 20 something degrees, I don't remember exactly. But you put that up there, take yourself a piece of scrap, make that level, clamp it to the board, make it level. Then you can find your angle from there. Trace those angles at each step, transfer it over to the other side, and I always recommend, having now done this ladder at least once, so I'm recommending it. That means I've always recommended it, to dado those pieces in. That's going to make your ladder so much stronger. If you were to just throw some screws in from the side, now all the weight when somebody steps on it is essentially on those screws. And if they step too hard, or if they jump on it, or if they're, a bunch of kids are goofing around, that's a lot of pressure on just a couple of screws. By putting it inside, dadoing it, making a little cutout so that that foot step fits into that cutout, now the pressure goes on the entire ladder versus just screws, okay? That's very, very important to making a very sturdy ladder. So find your angle, dado those out, put them in, glue. You can sink some screws in there as long as you can get them to where you can cover them up. We were able to do that, trim head screws, fill those in, sand it all smooth. You don't know they're there. It's just a little thing that helps speed up the process and a little bit of extra strength, okay? So we got the ladder. It's fixed. It looks great. Fantastic. Rolling smooth. I was happier than the kid in the candy store because I finally got to build something that everybody's been asking me to build. So we've got that problem solved. Ladder done. Lights done. Shelving unit in place. We threw some beams up at the top. But I'm telling you, the funnest feature that we had on this entire unit was the locks that I put on those doors. Those locks were electromagnetic locks. The ones you probably see if you go to like a school now, those are very popular. That it grabs the door up at the top, right? It's a magnet, but it's got like 500 pounds of force that it would take in order for you to pull it open. So we put those at the top, rigged them all up so that they go all to one central location. And the way that you can open it, this guy's got 3 ways that he can open it. There's little key fobs, which those are fun. Put those up against there, and he goes unlocked, and you can open all the doors. Second way, there's a code. You can put a keypad on there. So let's say he's not home, but the wife wants to get in for a drink. She doesn't have the fob. Oh, the code is, 23456, whatever. You can just type that in, unlocked, and they lock back automatically after. You can set the timer as long as you want, 5 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever. But the third way, he can program his fingerprint. If his buddy walks up there, it's like, oh, that's a nice collection. And he goes to open the door, because he wants to take a look at the Buffalo Trace or whatever. Not a sponsor. And he pulls it and it's locked. He can't get it open. His buddy, he can just go, hey, I got you. Put his finger on there and the whole thing unlocks and he can get it. That's just super fun. I'm telling you, this thing had all the gadgets. Like I said, we also put beams in the ceiling, which were a really cool feature as well. You've got these nice white oak beams stained nice and dark, running all the way through. They also ran into the living room where we built the fireplace, so it looks like they run all the way into the house. A lot of fun to build this project. A lot of challenges that we were able to solve. Problem solving is the number one skill that you have to have in this type of business. And we were in full form for this project. Big shout out to the customers. They were fantastic, super patient while we got all that stuff done. It was a fun project to build. If you're in Central Florida and you want something cool build, craftinflorida.com. If you're just watching somewhere else, make sure you like and subscribe. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.